BBC Radio Shropshire
with Mark Elliot.
Welcome to the 7 o'clock show on BBC Radio Shropshire. Every Wednesday to Friday night, we try and bring you a load of stuff that you can get involved in. Stuff in the community, run by people in the community, or at least coming to your community, to a place round the corner from you that you can engage with, whether it's volunteering for it, learning a new skill, whether it's going to see something spectacular, or joining in and just finding out more about where you live. And that's kind of what we're going for tonight, and not just finding out more about the locality. The University of the Third Age aims to teach you plenty. We'll learn about that and the benefits of twinning a little bit later on. And we're going to be learning all about U3A, or the University of the Third Age, shortly, which exists all over the country but has a presence here in the county that you can engage with and get involved with. It sounds fantastic, and we've got two brilliant people, Jonathan and Alwyn, to come in and explain it to us. First set of guests I've got to introduce you to tonight, and we have some brilliant people on the show. Jonathan Mutch and Alwyn Winter. Hello.
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 Now, University of the Third Age, what is it?
Well, it's not what you might think it is. It's not a university at all. The U3A, as it's called, is different from most other adult learning organisations. Rather than paying for people to teach, we encourage members to share their knowledge and talents with other members.
So what
So it's
sort
a
of
self-help.
things? Okay.
It's absolutely a self-help group.
You teach each other?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, if Jonathan explains about a group,
Yeah.
then we can take it from there, perhaps.
Yeah, we have over 100 groups in Shrewsbury, and as Alwyn says, it's a bit like a virtual university.
100 in Shrewsbury alone?
100 in Shrewsbury
Wow.
alone, with over 1,000 members, approximately 1,050 members.
That's amazing.
At the last number. And basically, they can fall into three areas. They can be study groups, for instance, French, Greek, local history. They can be activity groups, such as walking, pétanque, which is French boules.
Okay.
Golf croquet. Don't ask me what that is because I'm not too sure. And they can be interest groups, such as backgammon, bird watching, and that sort of thing. So there are a whole range of different types of activity that people do across these 100 groups.
Which I guess means you need people that are interested in learning the skills, but you need people with expertise as well.
Yeah. And you'd be amazed how many people have got expertise at our age.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
they've worked, had a long career, and they bring some of that to the party, really. Yes.
And where do you meet? Is it just places in town?
We meet all over the place. We have our main speaker meeting in the Walker Theatre at the Theatre 7, and then the various groups, depending on what it is. If it's a walking group, obviously we're walking all over the county and keeping the pubs going in Shropshire.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or we've got pétanque, which is up at the Shelton Cricket Ground, and then we've got various venues all over Shrewsbury. Probably. Do you want to explain those? Well, perhaps you.
Okay, yeah. We meet in as diverse places as the Tesco Community Room.
Oh, okay, in the back of the Tesco.
Up this part of town, to Louis' house. The United Reformed Church, the Inn on the Green, so it's pubs, it's church halls, it's meeting rooms.
Yeah,
really throughout the town.
So, how many groups have you been a part of over the course of your careers in the?
Me personally, I think I'm in 5 groups at the moment.
What are they?
Pétanque, 2 walking groups, a book club, and the local history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we've got 3 local history groups, and I'm just in the.
You're just
one
in
of
the
them.
one.
Yeah.
What's your speciality?
In local history.
Yeah. Are they 3 groups that cover the same things, or do they have a particular
Oh
field
no,
of
the
interest?
local history groups, just because the one got full.
Oh,
so
right,
somebody
okay.
starts another one, and
Yeah.
that's how it evolves, really.
Yeah.
So it works really well.
How many are you in?
Yeah.
I'm in...
Not golf croquet, clearly.
Not in golf croquet, because I can't explain what that is. But I'm in 3 walking groups. So I walk pretty much every Wednesday, every month. I'm in a photography group, and I'm in the pétanque group.
So when you meet, how does it work? How does it go? Does somebody take it upon themselves to lead the session, or do you mix that up?
Yeah. Well, if it's a walking group, for example, you take it in turns to recce a walk, and then you send that walk out about a week beforehand and sort the pub out, in our case. Some people...
I'm noticing how key the pub is, both for you and your walking groups.
Well, I think it really is keeping the pubs going at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
The grey generation. Yeah, and then you say whether you're going on the walk and you order your lunch and then you turn up. We actually meet at Meal, Park and Ride and then go to where we're starting the walk.
Okay.
And then do the walk and have our pub lunch.
Yeah.
And we just all take it in turns. But presumably different groups work in different ways, and I can't say about all of them. The Batang group is probably organised by one person mainly.
Like a coach?
No.
You got a tracksuit?
A very interested Batang player.
Okay. Needs a tracksuit with initials on, like a football manager.
Yeah.
What about,
But generally, for instance, a local history group, it'll have a coordinator, somebody to kind of coordinate the meetings and the locations and things like that. But generally, it'll be a discussion group, and the group will decide collectively what they're going to talk about this month or next month. Are they going to read a book? Are they going to visit somewhere?
Yeah.
So it's very much a collective type of thing in a lot of the groups.
And when you do the stuff at the theatre, is that where everyone gets together?
Yes, anybody that wants to come. We've got nearly 1,000 members, but they don't all turn up to the Walker Theatre because it only takes about 200. We have been in the main theatre before now, if our numbers are very high. And then we have a variety of speakers, and they range from somebody talking about nature. We had somebody last month talking about Rolls-Royce.
Oh, okay.
And that was fascinating, because I didn't know that he died when he was 31. And the impact that he made, during that short lifetime was quite amazing, really.
Absolutely.
And that in actual fact, he was an engineer. He wasn't just the money man in Rolls-Royce, which I probably thought he was. Yeah. But he was an engineer, and he developed the car and then went into flying, and that's where, unfortunately, he got killed.
That's quite a business to build before you're 31, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you turn up to some of these and think, well, I'm just going, I'm not sure I'm interested in the history of Rolls-Royce, and then you come out thinking, that was more interesting than I thought it was going to be?
They're all pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
We've got some great speakers, we had the Diane Carrington. I don't know whether you've had her on the show. One of the ladies that rode
the Atlantic.
Yeah. We had her, and that was brilliant as well.
Yeah.
And they bring their books along, and we might buy their books, and that's so it's.
Who sorts them out? Who finds
we have
the speakers?
We have a speaker secretary called Pauline Langley. We were hoping to get on here tonight, but she was otherwise engaged. No, she got a good excuse.
So this is all over the country, isn't it?
Yes.
But does each kind of local branch take care of itself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do have the Third Age Trust, which is the national organisation, and I think we pay some sort of capitation fee to them, and we get information down from them, which helps us. And our computer system is probably led by them, isn't it? The Beacon system that we use. Yeah.
Is this is there a lower age limit?
No, as long as you finished your career.
Okay.
Or you can join if you're part-time, or you finished raising a family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's for the retired, ostensibly.
Yes, it is. I think you're probably not much younger than about 55, really. It's older than that.
When did you two join, and why?
I joined probably about 8 years ago because and my husband's listening, because I was cheesed off with him working so much, and I wanted to do some other things, although I already got other hobbies as well, but I particularly wanted to join a walking group, so that's why I joined initially, but I've just gone from strength to strength, so love it, absolutely love it.
What about you?
I joined about 2 years ago when I finished work, and really, it was because I had an interest in photography, so I wanted to join the photography group. I wanted to get active, so the walking groups were the logical ones to join. And in my previous employment, I travelled a lot, so I didn't really have a wide circle of people I knew in Shrewsbury.
Okay.
I'd lived abroad for a while as well. So it was a good way of getting to know people and meeting people with a like interest and like mind.
Had you recently given up work?
A couple of years ago, 3 years ago, yeah.
And did you, I guess with your husband away, did you find yourself rattling around a bit in the house? Was that part of the impetus?
Not really, because
you were doing other stuff?
I've always done other stuff. It was really the walking group that I wanted to get into initially. But then after that, I found out what else was on offer and joined some other... Is
it a bit like a black hole? You kind of go in for one specific thing and then you see everything else?
Yeah. I mean, it's great for people. I mean, the motto is to learn, laugh and live. And I think that's what it's all about. You know, if people are at home and are lonely, depressed or something like that, then it's a great organisation to join. Yeah. Because it gets you out of the house and you're doing things. And you can learn new skills, or you can help other people learn new skills.
Yeah. When you were retiring, did you plan to know you had to do something to fill the time? Or was there a moment where you thought, no, I'm bored now and I need to go and enrich myself somehow?
I think probably the latter, a little bit of the former as well. But I looked forward to retiring and just doing my own thing. But after a fairly short period of time, actually, I decided that I was getting a bit bored doing that, sometimes on my own. So, joining an organisation like the U3A with a lot of like-minded people was kind of the logical thing to do.
What was your job?
I was a human resources director in a large American multinational company.
So that's quite stressful, quite senior, I would imagine. You're travelling around a lot. And then does it literally go from that, where a job can be quite all-encompassing, because people's careers are, to nothing? Or did you kind of phase out?
It kind of went from full on to nothing.
I mean, that must be great for a week or two, and then a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah.
When it settles down to go from being all go to, and particularly if you don't know a lot of people in the area.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of travelling in my previous job, so it was a nice relief to be at home. Not too sure if you asked my wife, she'd say the same thing. In fact, I think she was the one who encouraged me to join the U3A. Right. I maybe have to learn something from that.
It'd be really good for you if you got out of the house more. Did she go at it like that?
Yeah, probably something like that.
And it turned out it was mutually beneficial.
Yeah, and I'd got rid of my golf clubs a few years earlier, so golf wasn't an option. So it had to be something else.
Why?
Because I was travelling so much and I didn't have time for it.
Okay. This must be a great way to meet people, though.
It's fantastic.
It's an instant social circle, isn't it?
It is, really. And everybody wants to be there, so, it's...
How many people are in your walking groups, and how many people meet up at any given time?
There are about 25 in the walking group. I mean, we are restricted because of the pub match,
Yeah.
really, because they can't really...
Can't accommodate 100.
They can't really take any more. And also, if you've got styles and things on a walk, it takes far too long to get through it. And usually about 18, 20 of those turn up each time,
We actually have 10 walking groups.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
because as they've grown, they've filled up. And some people have wanted to do shorter walks, some longer walks, some hilly walks, some strolls. Some groups don't actually go to the pub,
No,
surprisingly
they
enough.
don't.
Some take picnic lunches so walking. There are more walking groups than any other group, in actual fact.
I'm going to ask you about the type of people who lead the courses. BBC Radio Shropshire, in conversation with Jonathan Mutch and Alwyn Winter from the University of the Third Age in Shrewsbury tonight. We were just having a chat about the speakers you've got coming up. What's your itinerary like? You do this once a month, is that right?
Yeah, we do it once a month, except we have a New Year's party in January and we don't have a speaker in August. But some of the speakers we've had already are people like Steve Jones, one of the street pastors, and Kathy Sabin, whose tennis is really for everyone. They've just all been good, haven't they?
Yeah. Coming up, we have somebody in December, I think it is, talking about the moon landings.
Oh, wow.
As it's the anniversary of the first moon landings. Next March, we have a group coming from the Sabre project, which you may have heard of. It's a group of fire service personnel who take fire engines to Romania every year.
Oh yeah.
So they're presenting in March, I think it is. So
a lot of local stuff as well. I mean, Kathy is from Shropshire, was head of the LTA.
Yeah,
you know, these are local people doing great things, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And local history is in a similar vein. Do you find that that's a key interest? People finding out about where they live, is that must be really popular? Those groups.
Yeah. We had a presentation, and I can't recall the guy's name, who talked about the first people who sailed on the Mayflower across to the States way back when.
Yeah.
Who came from somewhere near Mutch Wenlock.
Okay. Wow.
And that was very interesting because I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that.
Is it important when you stop working or don't work as much to keep learning things? And I mean specifically keep picking up new skills and new information, and not kind of, not rest on your laurels is the wrong phrase, but you know what I mean.
Vegetate.
Well, I wouldn't put it quite as bluntly, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it is. I think, the more you keep your mind going and doing physical things as well, the better it's going to be for yourself, isn't it? Yeah. And
do people arrive quite lonely a lot of the time? Do you get a lot of people who perhaps have lost a partner and maybe haven't got the widest social circles? Yeah,
one of the things we do, we have a coffee afternoon the last Friday of the month in Palmer's Cafe, which is in Claremont Street, and it's open for any member to come along as well, but it's particularly welcoming to new members, and we have a few of us there who can talk to them about the U3A, and I've spoken to quite a few people who've been bereaved and just sort of picking themselves up, and they've joined the U3A, and it's been great for them, really. As
a first step, just coming for a coffee, that's easy, isn't it? Or comparatively, it's not.
I don't think it is easy, actually. I know. I think if they make that first step, then it's
often the hardest part.
It's the hardest part, and after that, when they get to meet like-minded people as well, and find out that there's something for them to do and to get out there and that.
Who is it that takes your photography course, by the way? Is it somebody who's had a career in that?
No, we all just learn from each other.
Okay.
There are some more experienced than others, and they will lead a discussion on, for instance, lenses or something like that, darkness, light, etc. So there's nobody that's a particular expert. So we're all really just learning amongst ourselves. We go away and we practice some of the things that we talk about at our monthly meetings.
Yeah.
So it's not as if we're being taught; we're learning together.
You must be surprised with the expertise that emerges, though.
Oh, it never ceases to amaze
from people.
Me, really.
What sort of people have you got that you draw on?
Well, everybody that joins the U3A has got something to give.
Yeah.
Really, one way or another. Difficult to pin it down, really, isn't it? But some people have done some really
Yeah, I set up a classical music appreciation group, or I helped a group set up to talk about classical appreciation. And it was set up because one particular member had a keen interest, had quite a wide collection of classical music, and really wanted to listen to classical music and discuss it with other people. So in that case, he'd be kind of leading the discussion.
Yeah.
But again, everybody would be learning by listening and maybe reading a bit about the writers of the music and that kind of thing.
Were you a fan of classical music before?
No, I'm not a member of that group.
Okay.
But part of my main role on the committee is to help set up new groups.
Ah, right.
So, for instance, this year we've set up 13 new groups. So I get involved in the beginning in getting the group set up. So I get to know a little bit about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then I kind of pull out of the group.
What criteria do you have to meet to get a new group or a new topic approved?
Enough people enough people interested to make it a worthwhile group. And that can range from, I know Alwyn was at a cooking group today, and they have 9 members, which is enough for them.
Yeah.
Whereas the walking groups will have 20 or 25 members. One of the local history groups has got over 50 members. And the group themselves have decided we can cope with that number of people.
Yeah.
Other groups will say, French conversation, for instance, we can only cope with 6 or 8 people in our group. So when we reach that number, we'll close the group.
When you said
members.
Greek, was that ancient Greek?
There is actually
modern
ancient
Greek?
There is actually an ancient Greek group.
I mean, that's niche. So
That is quite niche.
That does
Yeah.
show you can pretty much set up anything if there's enough interest.
And I would classify that as
absolutely,
I would classify that as a study group
Yes.
with a bit of interest as well.
Yeah, I think that's a fair classification. What do you get from it mostly? Is it the learning, or is it the like-minded people and getting out and going to the pub?
I think it's just sheer enjoyment, sheer enjoyment from it, really, and laughter and lots of fun.
Yeah.
Really, and that's so euphoric for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you must have been to a lot of these talks and seminars and things now. You mentioned Rolls-Royce. Has there been anything that you've found out that's really, you've walked out knocked for 6 by it, that surprised you?
That's $1 million question, isn't it?
Because it's such a huge range of topics, isn't it? And I guess you get out what you put in.
Yeah, I think every speaker that we hear, you come away thinking, yes, I've learned something today from that.
We had the ex-High Sheriff
Yes.
presented several months ago now, and I was quite amazed that I had no idea what the High Sheriff did.
Yeah.
And I came away from that thinking, well, the person who has that role, it's not just a kind of a honorary role.
Yeah.
It actually does play quite a big part in the community in many ways. So that kind of struck me, that I really learned a lot about what a lot of people just see as an honorary role.
Yeah.
It's very hard work, I think.
Yeah, very hard work, yes. Yeah.
How easy is it to join and get involved? Do you have to pay? Is it?
Well, it's a £15 subscription, yes.
Okay.
But it's very easy to join. As long as you're interested enough and want to be a member, then yeah.
Is that monthly or? the
No,
£15?
year.
Oh, for a year?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yes. No, it's not bad, is it?
Just over £1 a month.
Yeah. And then you can join as many groups as you want to and you've got time for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking at anything else? Eyeing up any to add to your portfolios?
I'm too busy at the moment because I'm
You might be.
chairman of the group, and I also play tennis a couple of times a week and play bridge as well outside the U3A. So,
How did you get roped into joining the committee and then becoming chairman?
well, I wasn't even on the committee about 16 months ago, and unfortunately the chairman resigned, and so they were just looking around, and
Is it hard work?
it's very enjoyable. I love it. I mean, I'm visiting as many groups as I can whilst I'm in the chair, which is a 3-year stint.
Okay.
And like today, I've been to the cooking group, and we started about 10 o'clock, and the lady whose house it was, she organised what we're going to cook, and it was Vietnamese today. So
Oh, wow.
we've had the most beautiful lunch.
Have you ever cooked Vietnamese before?
No.
Wow.
So it was lovely. So she gets the recipes and all the ingredients, and then we prepare everything and enjoy the meal
Yeah.
at lunchtime. So I've had a lovely day.
Absolutely.
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't eat anything
Yeah.
else though now.
And I've been to one of the photography groups as well. I don't know if it was yours or not. And a lot of that was way above my head. But but really, that opened my eyes as well to what they could do.
Absolutely.
They say the camera doesn't lie, but I'm not convinced about that anymore.
No, I hope I don't look how I look in pictures. I've got to be honest. I bet you get a preview then if you're involved in setting up new groups. Is there anything you look at and think, yeah, I'd quite like to get involved in that next?
Yeah, there are, in fact. I was just looking at the list of new groups that I'm working on at the moment. And, well, they range from yoga and line dancing to five-a-side football. So those are 3 activity groups.
Yeah.
We've got somebody wanting to set up a Monopoly group because we're going to have a Shrewsbury version of Monopoly by Christmas. Somebody's come to me in the last few days to talk about setting up a group to talk about quantum theory.
Okay.
So there's an interesting group, and we'll be interested to see how many people come forward with an interest in quantum theory.
And how many leave with a headache.
Yeah, exactly. And positive psychology. So, some of these are really quite interesting.
Yeah.
And you can see how diverse it is and how diverse people's interests are.
So obviously you can find you online if you haven't got internet access, because we are talking about a more senior age group at times. So where do they find you again?
Well, you do find us on the internet, you can find us online.
Where else in person?
That's a good point,
At the monthly meetings at Theatre 7.
Yeah. I mean, I have put leaflets in the music hall, in the tourist information centre, places like that. But we are exploring at the moment social prescribing.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what that is?
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's... If somebody goes to a doctor's surgery and they are particularly lonely or depressed or something like that, then the doctor may well refer them to the U3A as something, instead of perhaps taking medication, to join with other people.
In all seriousness, this can be a lifeline to people, I guess.
Yeah.
Or certainly a link to society they wouldn't ordinarily have.
Yeah.
Must be incredibly rewarding.
Yeah. I mean, if you're new to the area as well, it's not just people that are lonely necessarily, but if you're new to an area, it's a great organisation to join.
Instant
we do
circle.
some trips as well, which I think Jonathan's got
where are you
some
going?
details of.
Well, there is a trips group. They've been to Bletchley Park. They go to National Trust locations, Blenheim Palace, Kedleston Park, which is another National Trust property. They're going to the Worcester Victorian Christmas Market next month.
Fantastic.
We had a walking group recently, spent 5 days in Italy, walking in the mountains of southern Italy.
Nice.
So, again, it can be quite wide-ranging groups. We have theatre trips.
Yeah.
I'm going on a theatre trip tomorrow.
What are you going to say?
I'm going to see Yes Minister at Theatre Clwyd.
Oh, brilliant.
So there's a busload of us going, probably 35 people going tomorrow.
Yeah.
So again, you can see how sociable it is, and
absolutely,
again, how diverse the trips can be.
It's an excuse for a load of jollies, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Unbelievable. You're in the pub all the time, and you're going to this.
I'm
right,
on trips,
I've got to the bottom of it. Thank you very much for coming in. It's been great to hear about it. I think it's fantastic. It's Jonathan Mutch and Alwyn Winter from the University of the Third Age.